Polly sat alone at the kitchen table, her gaze fixed on the empty coffee cup before her. She dreaded the impending conversation with her husband Fred, scheduled for today. Thankfully, their children were off at the neighbors for a sleepover, sparing them from the inevitable shouting match that lay ahead. Reflecting on how a bit of harmless flirting and casual lunches had spiraled out of control, Polly couldn't shake the feeling of guilt that weighed heavily on her shoulders. For over a month, she had sensed something amiss, but it wasn't until the latest test result that she knew she had to come clean to Fred. As she waited for him to return from his early morning errand to the store, apprehension gnawed at her. The sudden ring of the doorbell and the rumble of a large truck pulling into the driveway startled Polly. Unprepared for any visitors, she assumed it was just someone lost seeking directions. "May I assist you?" Polly greeted, opening the door to the unexpected visitor. "Are you Polly Brown?" the man queried. "Yes, I am Polly Brown. How may I assist you?" she repeated, puzzled. "I have a work order to pack up your belongings and transport them to 815 Southwest 10th Avenue, the man informed her, thrusting a clipboard toward Polly as he signaled for his crew to begin unloading boxes from the truck. "There must be some mistake," Polly protested, handing back the paperwork. "I never initiated such an order." "Miss, I understand, but the order was placed by Mr. Fred Brown a week ago," he explained, pointing to Fred's signature at the bottom of the document. "My husband will be back shortly, and I'm certain he can resolve this misunderstanding," Polly insisted. "Mrs. Brown, I just departed from your husband 20 minutes ago, and he instructed me to give you this envelope if you caused any trouble," he stated, handing Polly a large manila envelope. "Now, if you wouldn't mind, could you please direct us to the master bedroom? We've only got an hour to wrap this up," he requested. Polly opened the envelope and glanced briefly at the single sheet of paper. In a barely audible voice, she instructed the workman, "First room at the top of the stairs on the right." The men hurried upstairs, and for the next 40 minutes, they worked diligently, packing and hauling box after box to the truck parked in the driveway. Occasionally, they attempted to ask Polly questions, but she seemed mentally elsewhere, so they proceeded as best they could. Within 50 minutes, they announced their completion and readiness to depart. "I'll need your signature, Mrs. Brown," the lead workman requested. Polly hastily scrawled something at the bottom of the paper, and they swiftly exited. Exactly 10 minutes later, Polly's father arrived. "Darling," Harry said, observing his daughter's stunned expression. "Fred asked me to pick you up, figuring you might not be in a state to drive," he explained. "Your mother's waiting for us, and the movers are ready to drop off your belongings. We'll store everything in the garage for now and sort it out later," Harry informed Polly as he guided her out of the house. "This can't be happening," Polly muttered aloud as Harry assisted her into the car. "Where's Fred? If Fred were here, he could sort out this entire mess," she pondered silently. "He'd listen, wouldn't he?" Half an hour later, Fred returned to the house accompanied by a locksmith. "Change all the locks, including the code on the garage door opener," he directed the locksmith. "Leave me 5 sets of keys and ensure there's a deadbolt on the side garage door," he instructed, stepping into the now vacant home. Fred ascended the stairs and found that the workers had done a commendable job given the tight schedule he had imposed. Glancing at his watch, he realized he had only 15 minutes before the next truck arrived. Grabbing a couple of empty cartons, he completed the packing of the remaining items the movers had overlooked, including Polly's makeup and toiletries from their bathroom vanity. Carrying down the last 2 boxes, he noticed the arrival of the next truck. Fred greeted his sister, Melissa, as she entered with the movers. "Hey there," he said, pulling her into a hug. "Why don't you take the second bedroom on the left, next to the bathroom? It's much bigger than the spare room and has a walk-in closet," he suggested. "We can sort out the kids' things later." "Sure thing." "What about Paul's car?" Melissa inquired. "Her dad is supposed to pick it up later tonight after he's finished with the movers," Fred informed her. "Could you handle things here for a bit? I need to swing by the office for a minute." "I'll grab pizzas for tonight," he added, heading toward the garage. "No mushrooms," Melissa called after him, then turned to direct the movers on where to place everything. Fred, glancing at his watch from his car, observed his 3 best friends engaged in a heated discussion with Simon, a co-worker of his wife, who didn't appear pleased. After about 5 minutes, Mike, one of the 3 men, approached Fred's parked car. He thought we were joking until I pulled out my knife, Mike recounted with a grin. Gave him two choices: leave within 24 hours or have an unfortunate accident with said knife, he finished, amusement evident in his tone. How you holding up, buddy? I'll be better tomorrow, Fred replied somberly. Never imagined dealing with anything like this, but I'll manage. He thanked Mike, mentioning he needed to head off but would catch up with him later at the house. Picking up the copies of pictures and receipts dropped off by the investigator at his office on Friday afternoon, Fred knew their contents without needing to open them. They were for his lawyer's reference. Well, there goes $1,000, he lamented as he glanced at the invoice. After dropping the envelope at his lawyer's office, Fred grabbed 4 pizzas, a case of beer, and made his way home. Tonight called for total indulgence, as tomorrow he'd be a single parent needing to set a new example, certainly not like the one his soon-to-be ex-wife had set. Upon his return, the moving truck had vanished, and Melissa, along with a few friends, was busy setting up her bedroom. Hey, bro, she greeted Fred as he ascended the stairs. Where's all the muscle you promised me, she quipped. They're wrapping up something for me, but they should be here in about an hour. An hour? Why don't we take a break and grab a bite to eat? Fred suggested to Melissa and her friends. Mike and his companions finally arrived just before 400, and by 700, everyone was gathered, enjoying a few drinks and casual conversation. Everyone, that is, except Fred. Melissa eventually found him in the den, engrossed in old home movies. We've got everything upstairs in my room, and everyone's finished eating. Is there anything I can get for you? She asked. Not right now, honey, but thanks for asking, Fred responded. I just need some time alone, that's all. Well, I'll be in the kitchen if you need anything, Melissa assured him, planting a kiss on the top of his head before closing the door. I never saw it coming, Fred murmured to himself. How could I have been so blind? Just over a month ago, while paying bills online, Fred stumbled upon a charge for a checkup at the local clinic. Han, did you go to the doctor a week ago? He called out to his wife, who was in the kitchen preparing dinner. I thought I had the flu and went in for a B12 shot, she yelled back. Ridiculous rates, he muttered to himself as he examined the bill. $125 for a simple exam and a B12 shot, even after insurance. I'll call them tomorrow. Maybe there's a mistake, he thought, though deep down, he knew there wasn't. The following day, Fred dialed the clinic's billing department from his office. Good morning, how can I assist you? The reception answered. Good morning. My wife, Polly Brown, visited your clinic 2 weeks ago, and I believe we were overcharged for her visit, he explained. She only had a routine exam and a B12 shot, but we were billed $125, when it should have been no more than.